From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We had some morning sunshine, afternoon clouds as expected, and that really made a difference in temperatures. Current reading 70, Lansing and Jackson, Alma 72, Kalamazoo 72 degrees, still way above average, but cooler than yesterday. Current temps across the region, notice some 50s and 60s to our northeast, but we're watching southwest. A lot of warm weather gathering, and that's going to move in our direction for the weekend. Cloud cover now extends across much of the viewing area, more clouds to our west. There'll be some breaks in the clouds this evening, but overall, mostly cloudy skies. No rain from those clouds, so it will be dry once again for tonight, and that theme of dry weather is going to continue for several more days. Temperatures tonight through tomorrow morning, we end up in the upper 40s, so light jacket weather to start the day, but we've got 70s on the way. We've got mid 80s with heat index values likely in the mid to the upper 80s this weekend. 6 News at 6 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 6.
Crisis averted for now as state lawmakers work early into the morning to keep the government running as the budget deadline comes and goes. It's our top story tonight at 6. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer.
And I'm Jorma Duran. A state government shutdown has been averted, but lawmakers in Lansing are still not done and need to get down to actually passing a new budget.
Monitoring those talks is our Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic. He's here for you tonight with the very latest.
Well, I'm hopeful we can get it done. We've all agreed to get it done.
Last week, it was an optimistic House Republican Speaker Matt Hall who turned out to be spot on. They did get it done. State government was not shut down at midnight last night. And in the wee small hours of the morning, both the House and Senate approved an extension of the old state budget to give them more time to work out the new one. The budget still remains the top priority. What is delaying the process at this hour is going on behind these closed doors. State workers are making actual copies of the budget so lawmakers can read where your tax dollars are going before they vote on those tax dollars. The Speaker rattles off some of the big stuff that they did get done in the new budget, including money for workers who were never hired.
We're finally eliminating thousands of ghost employees and waste, fraud, and abuse in government. We're addressing no tax on tips, overtime, and Social Security for our workers. We're going to disclose pork projects in advance. That's been a big problem up here for years.
As reported here first last week, the state will continue to fund free breakfast and lunch for all school kids. And educators, well, they're still waiting for that new state K-12 budget to arrive to avoid layoffs and cutbacks in education. However, the $1.5 billion road fix package was not adopted last night. And in fact, well, there's a battle brewing. Outstate Republicans say they're not getting enough money, and those from Southeast Michigan are. And if enough Republicans vote no on the package, they could actually kill it. Meanwhile, Governor Whitmer has been communicating to the Capitol Press Corps via press release. In fact, when reporters tried to interview her yesterday, she ordered the sergeant-at-arms in the House to block reporters from getting to her. And it worked. Nonetheless, Speaker Hall says the governor and he always felt if the two could work together, they could get this thing done.
I always knew that if the Democrats empowered Gretchen Whitmer to lead them and they agreed to back her on a deal, that her and I would get a deal.
And if all goes well, the two will stand side by side along with others at a budget signing ceremony sometime next week, if everything works out. Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Now to the federal government, where a deal didn't get done, and several Michigan lawmakers released a statement today. Let's start with Congressman Tim Walberg. He said nearly 2 weeks ago, House Republicans passed a clean continuing resolution to keep the government open for hardworking Americans and avoid a costly government shutdown. However, Democrats in the Senate refused to pass this continuing resolution to try to impede the work of the president. Congresswoman Kristen McDonald-Rivette said, "My budget priorities are simple. We need to lower costs and make things easier for families in our community. Washington's latest budget proposal is one that we cannot afford a continuation of the plans that cut taxes for billionaires by raising your costs. I voted no."
And we will continue to follow the government shutdown, so be sure to stay with 6 News for the latest developments from both Lansing and Washington as we work to keep you updated here on air, online, and through our 6 News app.
The East Lansing Police Oversight Committee is meeting is just getting underway at this hour.
Yeah, and it's the first meeting since the Lansing NAACP and one of the oversight commissioners called for an investigation into the East Lansing Police Department, claiming that officers disproportionately use excessive force on black people.
They're also reviewing the use of force statistics from 2024, and that's where we find our Rachel Ramsey. Rachel, what are we expecting to happen?
Well, Siobhan Jorma, the Police Oversight Commission meeting just got started, and on the agenda is this report showing ELPD's use of force statistics for 2024. Inside a draft summary for the annual report from a commissioner is a memo that identifies 131 incidents of use of force by ELPD officers in 2024 against 171 people. 144 of those were men and 27 were women. 122 of these were not residents of the city of East Lansing. Now, this deep dive into the police department's history is being presented in the wake of a chaotic welcome week at Michigan State University, where 2 black men were pepper sprayed and arrested after a fight, and another black man with a knife was tasered and arrested, which is a big reason for the investigation request. Now, we will bring you the latest on what these discussions look like in the meeting tonight on 6 News at 11. Here for you live in East Lansing, Rachel Ramsey, 6 News.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, starting today, parents and caregivers in Michigan might start receiving information from their child's school about gun safety. Recent legislation went into effect today that requires school districts to send information home about Michigan's secure storage law, and you can expect that information once a year. The group End Gun Violence Michigan hosted a news conference today with several state representatives to highlight the new requirement known as the Safe Homes, Safe Schools law. In 2023, Michigan passed its safe storage law, which requires firearms to be securely stored when children are in the home.
My bill requires that the informational notice about safe storage laws is disseminated to parents annually. As of today, schools have received that informational notice and should now be preparing to send that notice out to their parent and caregiver community within the next year. My bill does not create any stricter gun laws or put any additional burden on responsible gun owners.
Statistics show firearms are a leading cause of death for children and teens.
The Meridian Township Police Department reports no injuries after some railroad maintenance equipment crashed into a vehicle that disregarded the gate arms at a crossing. Police say that the crash took place at the Hagedorn Road railroad crossing just south of Mount Hope Road around 7 o'clock this morning. The vehicle drove around the gate arms and entered the crossing, where it was hit by the equipment being used to replace railroad ties. Police say that this crash is just one of 2 other similar incidents that took place over the weekend at the same railroad crossing, where drivers ignored road closure signs and became stuck.
However, tonight, Michigan State Police are investigating a crash that killed 2 people on US 127 in Jackson County. It happened in the southbound lanes of 127 around noon between Loomis Road and Reed Road in Liberty Township. The freeway reopened about 4 hours later. We are working to find out more about the cause of this crash and the victims.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
The calendar may say fall, but it feels like anything but fall. I mean, it's going to be really warm this weekend. We're going to balance that out, though, with big changes on the way next week. And this is kind of what I associate with next week's forecast. A fall morning where you get up, there's a little bit of fog out, crisp, cool air before you have the, really nice afternoon. We go in the upper 60s and low 70s. That's kind of what I think of fall anyways. And we certainly appreciate Mark sharing this picture with us from Ovid. To have your picture on our newscast, just check it out. We'd love to see it at WLNS.com/share. Upload yours, please. Northern Lights forecast. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this, but quite honestly, mostly cloudy skies tonight. The odds you actually see anything are fairly low, but there is a chance out there in the earlier hours of the evening. Once it gets dark out, you may be able to see those. Chances are back in the unlikely category as we head to Thursday and Friday. So if you spot that, snap a shot of that and upload it for us. We would love to see that as well. High temperature trends. So summer like this weekend. Highs between 85 and 90 degrees. Overnight lows near 60, which means the humidity will be creeping up just a little bit. Then next week, contrast that with mid-60s for highs, which will be above average, but it's going to feel quite a bit different from Monday into Tuesday, and throw in some rain showers on Tuesday for good measure to make it feel nice and cool out there. Satellite and radar shows the cloud cover we have, but some breaks in those clouds to our west, and that's what we're going to deal with for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, some stars out at times, other times just some clouds. Through the day tomorrow, more cloud covers expected, although the clearing line is working its way in from the northwest by day's end. As we get into Friday, now we're looking at mostly clear skies in the morning, mostly sunny or perhaps partly cloudy during the heat of the day. A few cumulus clouds may form by Friday afternoon. Current temperatures are near 70 degrees with 70 for Lansing, Mason, south through Jackson as well. Howell down to 68 degrees. On the Skyview network, we've still got partly sunny skies in the Capital Cam. Winds at 6, humidity at 35%, temperature sitting at 70 degrees. Beautiful sunset shaping up in Grand Ledge, 70 the current temp. Humidity 42%, wind gusts today up to 10 miles per hour, while in Jackson, we've got mostly sunny skies back in the area, temperature at 70, northeast winds at 7 miles per hour, and in Hillsdale, some clouds out there and also some clear skies, temperature 71. This is an impressive wind gust, at least in the viewing area today, at 21 miles per hour. Tonight, 48 is our overnight low with mostly cloudy skies. Then for tomorrow, mostly cloudy. High temperatures, though, warm in the upper 70s. The 6-day forecast, just get outside and enjoy this weekend. Maybe one of the last really warm weekends we have, because next week rain showers move in Monday night to Tuesday, and then we're looking at 60s for highs with additional rain showers next Friday into Saturday.
Yeah, how much summer fun can we cram into that weekend?
Yeah, I know, right?
We've got about 48 hours worth. Let's see what we can do.
Right, we all show up.
Thank goodness that we have the weekend to do that on.
Yes.
Right, perfect timing.